There we go. Okay. All right. Are you able to see the screen here?
Yeah, it's perfect. Thanks.
Okay. So this is Google Search Console, and this is an analytics program that tracks all of your website's happenings on the Google search engine. So this isn't what's happening inside the website. It's what's happening on the Google search engine. It's telling you impressions. So when someone goes, for example, comes over here and let's say they go, digital marketing are getting more churches, and they come down. Okay, so here's an ad. So this doesn't show up in Google Search Console. This would show up in Google Ads because this is paid advertisement. Then we come down here, and now you'll see here's ClickMill. We are being impressed by a listing on Google. So I'm just using those terms. This is an impression. If I click on it, the website would get an organic click, meaning we just show up there because we rank well on SEO. So this is an impression and a click. So when we're in here and I come into performance and full report, you'll see this is My Hawaiian Adventure, which is the other site we've been working on. And you'll see the total number of clicks has been going up fairly rapidly over the past 6 months. And the total number of impressions has also been going up quite rapidly. And this is because we're posting content to it like crazy. Okay. And you'll notice if we go over the pages here, the number of pages is reflective of the amount of growth going on to that site. Okay. Now, the click-through rate, you'll notice, is relatively similar, but going up a little bit. You'll notice we have some 0 days here, 1%, 0.5%, 0.2, 0.4. So in the earlier days, like a month ago, it's a little bit lower. And now we're generally hitting, 1%, 1.7, 1.9, 1.6, 1.8, 1.2. So we're a little higher, which is great. But click-through rate is the impressions divided by the clicks. So if we have 100 people that are impressed by our listing on Google, all of our listings, and one person clicks, then we have a 1% click-through rate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And that is a standard metric for any type of analytics tools and any kind of database decision making. So a good click-through rate is going to be based on where you want to rank in the search engine. And so, for example, so what's good? We'll come over here and I will show you CTR by Google rank. Okay. So what is the click-through rate by your ranking in Google? And this is not really intuitive, but it's very helpful once you kind of see it. That's a little, I don't like that one. That's about right. That seems right. Okay. So over here, you'll see, oh, come on. It never wants to go to the right spot. There we go. Organic click-through rate breakdowns by position. So if you're ranking in position 1, you're going to have a 27.6% click-through rate. Position 2, you're going to have about a 15 or 16% click-through rate. So you can see the benefit of ranking 1. You're going to get about 30% of the search volume. So when we talk about the search volume of a keyword, if you know you can rank number 1, you're going to get a third of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So if it's 1,000 searches a month and you know your website can just go in there and blast up to rank 1 overnight because it's so powerful, you're going to get 300 additional clicks a month on your website, roughly. Okay, so rank 2 is 15%, rank 3, 11. So you'll know there's kind of an exponential drop in the amount of clicks. Now, once you get it down to around 10, it's 2.4. And once you go to the second page of Google, now Google is just going to an ever scroll. So I assume, 3.3, 2.7, 2.4, 2.1, 1.7, 1.8, something like that. So we'll continue to have this decline. There used to be a very large drop off between page 1 and page 2 because nobody ever clicked to page 2. They said, I heard a joke one time. It said, if you ever want to hide a body, hide it on the second page of Google. Because nobody will ever find it there, which is very true. Anyway, to that end. Now I think that it's going to even out more, that there's just this ever scroll. It's very difficult to know where the first page is, the second page is. But to that end, if you're thinking you're ranking about position 15, that's going to be around 2%, 1.5 to 2.5, excuse me, 1.5 to 2% click-through rate. So I would say generally a 2.5% is good, because that means you're on average ranking on page 1 of Google. That's pretty darn good across all your pages. So you'll see right here, we're at 1.2. And that makes sense because we're average ranking. And I'll actually show you this because this isn't actually correct. So when we look at the broad section of data here, over here, we were ranking 38. Over here, we're ranking 26. So this is very different. And you'll see average position. And this tells us where we're ranking on Google. So, we were ranking 40 for a while, and it's slowly been coming up over the last 3 months, which this is very fast, by the way. Most websites do not know how to increase ranking from, for example, 60 to 23 in 3 months. That's crazy. But nonetheless, if we come and we look at, say, the last 7 days, and so you can change your time frames in here. This is going to go from 1.2 to 1.4, and we've moved up to 24. And this makes sense. If we're ranking about the middle of page 2, we're probably going to be right around 1.4. That sounds right. If we were in the middle of page 2 and we had like 5% click-through rate, that would be very unusual, because, you're thinking 15 further down than this, and you've got 5%, which is where people ranking number 6. You see the discrepancy there?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So this kind of gives us a base indicator on how to judge what good is, because it's all relative, right? I mean, if you really, really want to rank 50 on Google, then good would be like 0.25%, but that's obviously not where we want to be. I'd say 2.5% is really good. Okay. And so we're at 1.5, and the website's 2.5 months old. So we are moving in the right direction. We've already increased it. And then, of course, as the average position increases, the average click-through rate will increase too. So coming down here, I'm going to go back to the last 3 months. This is usually a good time frame to look at in here. I like this one. Okay, so you can see down here, this is across all the pages, the top keywords in the last 3 months. So glamping, Oahu, Kahuku food trucks, best whatever, Waikiki. So this tells you all the keywords that are getting the most clicks. I don't usually look at this view. I usually go to pages, and this tells you which pages are ranking. Okay. So we're ranking on average 23 for glamping Oahu, which is 95 clicks. Okay. And so you'll see, we can see which articles are doing the best on the website. We can see which countries are doing the best and which countries are most interested in the content. So you'll notice Australia, 2.5% click-through rate. Even more Denmark over here with 13.6%, but they only have 3 clicks. So this isn't really reliable data until we get maybe like 100 clicks. I wouldn't really say it's very reliable. So we could say United States is reliably 1.5%, but 20 here, this is going to vary a lot. You get 1 click, you're going to bump up 0.5%. So this really isn't too reliable until we get a longer time frame. You can see devices. We are heavy in mobile. So we really need to make sure we're optimizing for mobile, which we have not done. Immediately when we optimize for mobile, and it's already optimized, but when we go in and really fine tune it for mobile, we're probably going to see our conversion rate go up, because it will make more sense on mobile what people are supposed to do. I have no idea what that is, honestly. And dates is just how the website is performing by date, which you can just see on the graph. So I don't really use that either. Okay, so we'll go into more optimization, because this is like SEO Central right here. We'll go into optimization strategies later, and I'll give you one example of what that looks like. I'm sorry. So for example, let's say this page is ranking 95. It's got 95 clicks and we're ranking 23. What do I want to do to get that to go higher? Well, I can click on the page and let's look over the last 3 months here. Let's look at how we've been doing. So are we going up or down? Well, we're actually ranking probably the best it's ever ranked. Right now, it's ranking 8. Wow, that's great. So let's look it up. Glamping Oahu. Okay, so add. These are all ads, so these don't count in organic results. And then we've got rank 1, Glamping Hub, rank 2, My Hawaiian Adventure. So we're actually ranking rank 2 for this search, which is awesome. So anyway, there we are. That's it. So that's great. We're ranking 2. So anyway, so we're going up in the rankings. So that's good. And that would make sense because firstly, Google usually will take about 90 days to really figure out where your blog is supposed to be. So what you'll notice in the early days of a post is you'll notice they'll rank you really high and then they'll rank you really low. And then they'll rank you really high. And then there's a lot of variance. You don't usually see this much variance when a post starts bringing in traffic. It usually evens out. And so you'll notice it's been testing to see where the click-through rate falls, where the time on page falls, to figure out where the page belongs. And obviously, you can see here, it's evened out around 19, and they've been testing up to 13, back to 20, 13, 21, 21, 12, 18, and now they're testing us around 8 and seeing how that goes, seeing if the page keeps up with the other pages in that area. Click-through rate, you'll notice, is more consistent as it's been up. Whatever. Anyway, I'm off topic. Impressions, interestingly, have gone down even though the page is ranking 8. So that's very intriguing. And the clicks are not high, despite the fact that we've been ranking 8. So interesting data. Nonetheless, the optimization strategy is when we have this one page selected and we come back over to queries, we can see all of the keywords that Google thinks we should be ranking for here, we should be having on this page. So then we can go back over to the article and we can just Control F and do a quick find and see if these are on the web page, and probably just the ones that have clicks here. So like maybe those top 4 are primary keywords on that page. Primary Glamping Oahu, which is the blog, and then a couple LSI. But this is Google telling you, I like this article for Oahu glamping. And if that's not on the page, a super easy way to rank higher is to just put it on the page. So that would be an optimization strategy for SEO. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does. Thank you.
Great. So that's just one strategy we can pull out of here. And you can just do that forever. You can just go in and just on every single page, you can do that. And that's one of the things that Michael was doing when he was in his internship, and he did a lot of that, did a good job. So anyway, so this is Google Search Console. You'll also notice down here, the pages are increasing. Like get rid of that. You'll notice the number of pages is increasing. So from Friday to Tuesday, Saturday, oh, there we go. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of last. When is this? Wow. This was Tuesday of like last week. That's crazy. So we haven't had any new blogs go live since Tuesday. Anyway, you'll notice that the number of pages is going up. So of course, the number of impressions and the number of clicks is going up. Furthermore, you have no indexed pages. So these are pages that Google has found or maybe not found, but you've told them they're there. And it has not put on Google. And so you'll notice 18th. So you'll notice there are a number of pages since the 18th that Google has not indexed. So, oh, now it's to the 25th. That's so weird. Sorry, give me one moment. Make sure that's not something crazy. Okay, we're fine. So there are a number of reasons why the page might not be indexed, and these are them. It's discovered, or excuse me, it's discovered, but they haven't crawled it yet. So Google knows it's there, but they haven't had the actual resources in terms of server power to get to it. So we have 19 pages that are waiting for Google to crawl. So as soon as those get indexed, we can project that the website's going to grow. Crawled, currently not indexed, means Google found the page, but it's not going to index it because it doesn't meet some kind of requirement. And this is an easy opportunity for growth because, for example, there's no link from any page to the blog. So Google's like, it's a rogue page is just floating out there in your website. It's not connected to the site structure in any way. So we're not going to rank it. Okay, well, I can just go and connect it to the right spot and it'll probably get ranked. It's excluded by what's called a no index tag, meaning we don't want to index. We said no index. There are redirect problems. The page is gone. That's a 404 error. Google doesn't like the redirect you have on it. Other 404 errors. So there are some different reasons why pages cannot be indexed. Anyway, so I think that's a good basic overview of Search Console, kind of an intro to Search Console. So you can see the pages going up, experience, it'll tell you experience, it'll give you your sitemap. Have we talked about sitemaps?
No.
Okay. So a sitemap is pretty straightforward. So Google wants a super easy document, sitemap.xml. That's usually where you find them, not always, but usually. So this will tell you all of the pages on the whole website. And you'll notice this is set up for WordPress. So post sitemap, page sitemap, category sitemap, author sitemap. So we got authors, categories, pages, and posts. So let's just go to posts and it'll give you a list of all the posts on the website. Done deal. So what we do is we take that and we submit it into here. And so it knows every single page and post on the website. So you can see we got 108 posts, and that's what's connected to that sitemap. And that also helps Google to kind of give Google's algorithm vision on what everything on the website entails. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like it's like a wee bit confusing. I don't know, just because we did numbers with the Search Console.
So basically, a sitemap is just a list of all the pages for Google to find.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just,
okay.
It's like, instead of Google having it, like, it's like, how does Google navigate your website? Well, how would you do it? It would go to your homepage. And then after your homepage, it would go to the blogs page. And then after the blogs page, it would click on every single blog to check all your blogs. Or you could just give it a big list of URLs. And that's what a sitemap is. And then it just goes down the URLs and checks all the pages. It's just a more effective way to make sure Google has everything it needs. All right. So we'll be going over this more. Don't feel like you have to know all this. I know this is fire hydrant level information. Broadly speaking, it tracks how the site is doing in Google. And if you're growing or if you're dying. And, so for example, this is what we were able to pull off with ClickMail. Thank the Lord. And so you'll see we had a ton of growth since, especially since Destiny started back in June of 2022. Yep. And since then, we went from 3 clicks a day to 250 clicks a day consistently, up to almost 400 some days. So, our overall rank, has gone up tremendously. We were ranked 54, and now we average rank 20, 21. We had a 0.4 click-through rate, and we've got it up to 2.2. And you'll remember 2.5 is really good. 2.2 is pretty good. That means you're almost average ranking page 1 of Google on all your pages. Impressions have just blown up. So with that, these strategies we're talking about are very effective. So we have gone in, we looked at your article, and then we've posted it in Google Search Console. So we'll do the next one, but this was a good intro to Google Search Console, so at least basically what we're looking at. I'm also going to pause this video.